Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're taking a look at something that could seriously change how we think about robots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if training a robot was like as easy as teaching a large language model.
You mean kind of like ChatGPT?
Exactly. Just feed it tons of data and bam, it learns.
And you're saying that might actually be possible?
Well, it's looking more and more likely thanks to some really cool research out of MIT.
MIT, always pushing the boundaries.
Right. So this research, you know the article, a faster, better way to train general-purpose robots.
Yeah, I took a look. It's really fascinating stuff, like blurring the lines between AI and robotics.
Exactly, and that's what got me so hooked. You know, traditionally training robots has been so rigid. You teach a robot to make coffee, that's great,
But then you want it to, I don't know, fold laundry.
right? You're back to
Oh.
square one. Got to teach it everything all over again. So time-consuming and expensive.
Yeah, no kidding. And this is where the MIT team got their inspiration. They looked at those large language models, the ones that can learn from massive amounts of data, like GPT-4.
So they thought, what if we could do that for robots?
Exactly. What if we could create this, like, universal training model for robots?
And that's where HPT comes in, right? Heterogeneous Pretrained Transformers. I'll be honest. I had to look that one up.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, but the concept is really cool. Think of it like a universal translator for all that robot data out there.
Robot data, like what kind of data?
Oh, all sorts. Data from simulations, real-world robots, you name it, even videos, sensor readings. HPT takes all that and turns it into a language that an AI model can actually understand.
Okay, so it's like translating robot speak into AI speak.
You got it. And then the AI model can use all that translated data to learn and improve. But building that data set, that was no small task.
Yeah, the article mentioned over 50 different data sets, something like 200,000 robot trajectories.
Robot trajectories.
Right. Basically, a record of all the robot's movements over time, like a map of everything it did.
Ah, I see. So imagine compiling 200,000 of those maps from all sorts of robots.
That's a lot of robots. But you know what really stood out to me? Proprioception.
Proprioception.
Yeah, it's basically a robot's sense of its own body. Like how we know where our arms and legs are without having to look.
Ah, okay, so the robot knowing where it is in space.
Exactly. It's super important for those tasks that require, like, really fine movements. Like, imagine a robot trying to pick up a delicate teacup. It needs to know exactly where its hand is and how to move it.
So it's not just relying on cameras and visual data.
Nope. The HPT model actually considers this proprioception data just as important as visual data. So it's like the robot's developing a sense of touch, in a way. Pretty wild, right?
Definitely. So we've got this powerful AI model. It's trained on mountains of robot data, and it understands proprioception. But did it actually work? Like, did the robots actually learn better?
So the robots are learning better. But how much better are we talking? Like, can we actually see the results of this?
Yeah, the results are really impressive. They tested it both in simulations and in real-world settings.
Okay, so like with actual robots moving around.
Exactly. And the robots trained with HPT, they were significantly better at picking up those new tasks.
Significantly better. How much are we talking?
Over 20% better than robots trained with those traditional methods.
Wow, that's a huge improvement. Like, what kind of tasks were they doing?
All sorts. One example they gave was like grasping delicate objects. Imagine something like a teacup, something fragile.
Okay, and the HPT robots did better with that.
Way better. They could grasp the teacup like 95% of the time.
95%. That's incredible. What about the other robots?
The ones using those older methods, they were only successful about 70% of the time.
Wow, so HPT is really making a difference. But hold on, I think there's something even cooler. Didn't the article mention that these robots could perform well on tasks they weren't even trained on? Like they were actually adapting?
Yeah, that's what has everyone so excited. We might be on the verge of having robots that can not only learn a wider range of tasks, but can also adapt to brand new situations without us having to, like, retrain them from scratch every time.
So are we talking like robots with a universal brain?
Yeah.
Like they come preloaded with all this knowledge and skills,
Yeah.
ready to tackle anything we throw at them.
That's the vision. Think about it. A robot that could work in a factory one day, assist in a surgery the next, and then, I don't know, maybe even help you with chores around the house.
Wow, that's like straight out of a sci-fi movie. But okay, let's get real. If this technology actually takes off, I mean, really takes off, what would that mean for all sorts of industries?
Well, let's start with manufacturing. Imagine factories full of robots that can adapt quickly, like switching between different products, handling delicate components, and even learning new techniques as they go. all thanks to HPT.
Whoa, that would change everything. No more, like, huge delays for retooling or needing a different robot for every little task.
Exactly. Factories could be way more flexible and efficient, and you know what? It could even lower production costs.
So wait, instead of robots taking jobs away, they could actually bring some back.
It's possible, but we need to be smart about it. Invest in training. Make sure that humans and robots can work together, which actually brings us to another area where HPT could be huge: healthcare.
We already see robots in surgery, but with HPT, it could be taken to a whole new level.
Think about it. Robots that can assist with those super delicate procedures, monitor vital signs, even administer medication. And because they can learn so fast, they could be used everywhere. Hospitals, nursing homes, even people's homes.
So we could bring quality healthcare to more people, especially those who might not have easy access right now.
Right. It could be a game changer.
This is incredible. And while we're talking about improving lives, what about in our own homes? I mean, we all see those movies of the robot butlers, right? Could HPT make that a reality?
Robot butlers serving martinis. Maybe not just yet, but robots that can handle more household tasks. We're getting closer. Think about it. A robot that learns to do your laundry, cook meals based on what you like, even tidy up.
No more chores. Sign me up. Imagine all the time and energy you could save.
It could really change how we live.
This is all pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But I got to ask, some people are going to be a little freaked out by this. Like, having a robot in your house that's connected to the internet, learning all your stuff, what about security?
You're right. That's a valid concern. Security and privacy are huge. Just like with your phone or computer, we need to make sure these robots can't be hacked or misused. It's something researchers are definitely working on.
And what about cost? Will everyone be able to afford these super smart robots?
That's the key, isn't it? We can't let this become a technology that only benefits a few people.
Right. We need to make sure it's accessible to everyone.
Absolutely.
It sounds like we're on the cusp of a whole new world with these robots. It's exciting, a little scary, but definitely something we need to keep talking about.
I agree. And the good news is this research is open source, so anyone can contribute.
That's awesome. So it's not like just a few big companies are controlling everything.
Nope. Anyone can get involved, build upon this research, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to come up with the next big breakthrough.
Well, for anyone listening who wants to learn more, we'll be sure to include a link to the MIT research in the show notes. Definitely check it out.
It's worth a read, and remember, this is just the start of the conversation.
Exactly. The future of robotics is being shaped right now, and we all have a part to play in it. So let's keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking those tough questions. It really is amazing to think about, robots that can learn and adapt just like us. It's exciting, but I gotta admit, it kind of makes you think too.
For sure, there are definitely some things to consider, but if we approach it thoughtfully, this technology has the potential to really benefit us.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in those doomsday scenarios, robots taking over. But really, it's about figuring out how we can use these advancements to make things better, solve problems, improve lives.
Exactly, and that takes us back to HPT. We've talked about how it could revolutionize manufacturing and healthcare, but what about everyday life?
Right, like, are we ever going to get those robot butlers we always see in movies? The ones that take care of all the chores.
Well, a robot mixing you a martini might be a little ways off, but robots that can handle more household tasks, that's definitely becoming more realistic.
So you're saying with HPT, a robot could actually learn to do laundry, cook dinner, even tidy up the house.
Imagine coming home to a clean house, dinner's ready, and the laundry's done.
And I didn't have to lift a finger. Sign me up. That would free up so much time.
Right. Time you could spend with family and friends, pursuing hobbies, or just relaxing.
Okay, but let's be real. Some people are going to be a little creeped out by this whole thing. Having a robot roaming around their house, connected to the internet, learning who knows what. What about privacy? What about security?
You're absolutely right to bring that up. Security and privacy are essential, just like with any connected device. We need strong safeguards to prevent hacking or any kind of misuse. And developers are working on that.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the cost? Are these robots going to be something that only rich people can afford?
That's a great question, and it's a crucial one. We need to make sure this technology benefits everyone, not just a select few. If we want robots to help with everyday tasks, they need to be affordable and accessible to everyone.
So it all comes down to being responsible. Responsible development, responsible deployment. Thinking about the bigger picture.
I couldn't agree more. It's about having open conversations, considering the ethics, and making sure everyone benefits.
And that's exactly why we're having this conversation today, to help you, our listeners, understand these complex issues and to be a part of shaping the future of robotics. Because, let's face it, this stuff is happening whether we like it or not.
The future is being shaped right now, and we all have a role to play in making sure it's a positive one.
Well said. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. What we've talked about today is just a small glimpse into what might be possible. And it's up to all of us to explore those possibilities, to ask those tough questions, and to never stop learning.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to come up with the next big breakthrough in robotics. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.